I'll just leave it here then. I'll just leave it here then. Not just because you got the gloves on.
First posted on YouTube on March 3rd, the video quickly went viral. And Elizabeth residents now
You see that? You see that? Did you see that?
He kicked him in the chest.
Kicked him in his chest.
America, if we can't keep an eye on the police, how can we keep them accountable to the people they are sworn to serve and protect? We need an end to this East Germany-like infringement on our inherent right to free speech. You can film the police in public.
Over the history of the United States, police brutality against the nation's public has been an epidemic that has plagued our communities. The negative association with police involvement is deeply ingrained into American culture, and it looks as if it's only gotten worse over the past decade. People across socioeconomic classes all have unique yet interrelated experiences when it comes to interactions with officers of the state. The universal connotation associated with police contact is negative, especially in large cities. So how does the nation's capital stack up against the nation when it comes to police-community relations in the 21st century? This ethnographic approach intends to find out.
So, where do you live?
5329 J Street, Northeast.
Okay. And how long have you lived in the district?
I've been in the district all my life, basically over 30, 40 years.
Okay. In a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being abysmal, 10 being great, how would you rate police-community relations?
Today, as of today, in real time, probably a 6.
You said 1 is abysmal? Like 4? Give it like a 5.
Okay, cool.
I would just say 7.
I'd say 6.
District.
I give him an 8.
An 8? Okay.
I'll say 5. I mean, I don't really have too much issues with the police because I'm not really a problem person. But
it's like 4, I guess, especially for college students. I mean, we have a lot of animosity towards them. I feel like there's not a whole lot of understanding, especially being a young college student going out in the city. I feel like instead of feeling like they're there to protect us, instead we feel like they're there to nab us for stuff, like get us in trouble rather than protect us. So
I think that DC is a very I think living in Georgetown is a very skewed perspective of what goes on in DC, to be fair. I don't think that our perception living in Georgetown as taxpayers here versus what other people experience in DC. I think in Georgetown, we probably have it better than a lot of the other areas in terms of genuine care and concern and response time. And I think that I would give them a 5.
Okay.
Where do you live, like, currently?
I'm in Washington, D.C., in Northwest. Yeah, well, I mean, Kathy Lanier, who is the head of police here, is a very conscientious woman. I will give that to her. But it's not simply about, although that's incredibly important, it's not simply about how she as a police chief operates, though that's extremely important. It's about what police in the street do. And police the country over need to pay attention to some things that can be done to prevent the escalation of tensions to the point where there needs to be a shooting.
Probably a 6, and I say that based on a lot of situation that's going on in the community. Police not reaching out to the young generation, not showing them what it is to be in a community of police that cares a little bit more about the kids as to good things instead of looking at them doing something that's not positive. Need more police role models. I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
You only get, it's almost like they're only available when they're ready to slap your hand.
Yeah.
But when you're doing good things in the community, basketball, baseball, football, anything like that, those kind of sports, you never see them around other than when it's becoming an issue. So I think,
I guess, especially for college students, I mean, we have a lot of animosity towards them. I feel like there's not a whole lot of understanding, especially being a young college student going out in the city. I feel like instead of feeling like they're there to protect us. Instead, we feel like they're there to nab us for stuff, like get us in trouble rather than protect us. So yeah, I'd say like a 4, especially in the city.
Cha-ching, really. Pull you over, get tickets, whatever.
And police officers in DC, like DC police officers, when you have a large police presence, does that make you feel safer or less safe?
It really just depends. I mean, like in a terrorism kind of aspect or like a bad neighborhood aspect?
Just like in general, like if you were walking around around here and you saw a large amount of police, would that make you feel more safe or less safe?
Not really, no. Doesn't make me feel more safe. You know,
I believe they're there to support people. I don't think they're there to find trouble, you know. Because there's people out here that do things they don't got no business doing, you know. So I think they're doing their job. You know, in the news, you know, there's some police officers that go over the top, like that incident that happened in that classroom. But you know, not all cops are bad. You know, you got your good cops, you got your bad cops. So
it seems like
they're not very active, like here.
Police make you feel safer.
Oh well, not me.
I mean, I'm neutral. I don't care. Police gonna do what they want to do.
Police, like the ones that are in charge of Georgetown, they come maybe once a week and they ask us like, how is everything going? If we have seen anything suspicious, they like always check on us, like how is the store going or if we feel okay. Sometimes I stay here by myself, and so they give us like numbers where we can call or 911, but they specify like which locations should we say or how we're feeling, or so I kind of feel good. I mean, they
Lanier, the police chief, me and my partners have went to great lengths trying to talk to her or another person within that police hierarchy in DC, and it's been pretty difficult. And they're a really closed group. And we're starting to realize that as members of the community, the police it's hard to talk to the police, especially about their issues.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you're absolutely right, and it's unfortunate though. And Kathy Lanier, is a great woman. Chief Lanier is a great woman, but these departments are bigger than the individual personalities of even the people who head them. Police culture is extremely closed. It's extremely defensive. And I can understand living in a culture where they feel they're putting their lives on the line at risk every day, and people are here trying to criticize them. Well, sir or ma'am, the stakes, as the hip-hoppers say, stakes is high. These are people's lives we're speaking about. We can't be, concerned about your sensitivity or feeling that you're somehow being put upon. Stop killing people. Stop resorting to bullets and tasers. So, we have to be serious about trying to confront police authority that is being wielded in an unjust and unfair sense, and in a fashion. And what we have to do is to hold them accountable. So films like yours and others, where we are attempting to speak to police people, speak back to the kind of injustice that can prevail, not demonizing police people. We respect the hard work that they do and the incredibly difficult job they have. But at the same time, they have to be held accountable, especially so, because they are often the first members of the state representatives.
Doing this, make a documentary, and also
We're just gonna ask the questions really quickly. All right. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, 1 being abysmal, how would you rate the relationship between the community and the police?
This is stuff for the public information officer. I'm not going to get into
Okay.
police questions. I hope the relationship is very good. I'd like to be optimistic and rate it well.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get into that.
Thank you.
911, but I said I don't know where it is. I've been walking the streets. We waited an hour and a half for them to come, and then we started looking. So I feel like the response time, even if like my car's stolen or I think someone broke into my house, is really like unacceptable.
Okay, yeah.
When I lived in Chicago, like they were like there.
That's one thing where we're seen as like revenue for the city, and like wealthier areas or racial profiling is done to feel like they can have like small sort of misdemeanors or traffic violations. But at the same time, I feel like I could approach a police officer and like ask them for help, and they would help me. But I don't think that I don't feel that they're extremely passionate about Washington D.C. or the people that live here with any civic pride like I've experienced in like Chicago or Boston.
I believe it is evident that the relationship between the police and the community and the Capitol needs some work. People feel as if the police need to be doing more positive things in the community, and not just show up when things are going wrong. That being said, the Metro Police Department is far from abysmal, and they do a lot of good things.